Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Backpackers Blitz. This is episode 10. We got some old faces back in the house tonight and a couple of new ones and somebody underneath that helmet over there. So, Chad, welcome back, man. You've been gone for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, let's just move on.
You just killed the 15 minutes of planning we just did to talk about your basement.
Chad.
Yeah, we're going to
talk because we care about you.
Before we go any further, a couple of things happened. So Chad's got some stuff going on. Tim moved across the country or wherever the heck he went to. And Jonathan, who's in the show tonight, he actually visited Hilltop Park. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And of course, Daft Punk is in the house. We'll talk to him a little bit later on about maybe.
I joined the band, everybody.
There you go.
As you can see.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a big deal now.
There you kind of a big deal. So we do have a bunch of questions we're going to ask a little bit later on. But first, I do want to kind of get caught up on a couple of things. So Chad, where the heck you been, man? What's been going on?
Okay, so here's the story that you refuse to let me share, except for in front of millions of people.
16.
So last week I had, long story short, our septic backed up into our house, into our lowest basement, bathtub, and toilet. So as a way of trying to clean it, I grabbed the closest things that I could find, which was a gallon of bleach and a gallon of CLR, and mix those together in the tub. After, I don't know, about 3 minutes or so, I realized that I was on the brink of death in our tiny little bathroom as I was making literal chlorine gas that literally almost killed me. And after getting on ChatGPT to find out how bad I messed up, it literally said in all caps, "Chad, call 911 immediately." To which I did, and had Brittany and the kids all leave, and then the fire department had to come and hazmat my house from chlorine gas. So that happened. And then I was sick basically the next day. I was like really sick. So
okay, you get a pass. Wow. We'll let you slide for a few weeks on that one.
So what did we learn in science class this week, everybody?
Well, the most important thing to remember is if you're gonna do it all the way or don't do it at all.
That's fair.
So I did it all the way. And it was violent. Let's just put it that way. It was definitely a violent situation.
That is insane. That is crazy. I've done some stuff with our lasers where I've lasered the wrong stuff and basically caused fumes. We had to evacuate the place. And now we look at data sheets before we even think about doing that. But that's nothing to mess with. And mixing those two chemicals together, good Lord.
I literally had like 4 towels that I pushed up against my face to go in there to try to turn the tub on to like dilute it. And just from walking into the bathroom, it literally made my eyes feel like they were going to burn out of my skull. And it penetrated through all the towels within instantly. It was insane.
Jeez, that is crazy. Was there anything else going on besides trying to murder your family? Anything else going on?
Oh yeah, there's always plenty going on, but I don't know what else.
Any news with UGQ? Anything you want to throw in there real quick before we move over to Tim?
No.
You guys just working on it. All right. So Tim's been moving for it seems like 2 weeks straight. It took you to get there. How long did it take you actually to go from where you were to where you are now? And where were those two places? Give us the whole story.
Tim? What's your address? He's zoned out.
Don't tell me he froze.
He's zoned out. Actually, he's deep in thought right now.
Oh, he really froze.
No, I apologize. Hopefully this stays stable, but I'm getting unstable internet connection, and my boss would pay for decent Starlink. Maybe I don't know.
I really thought you were messing with me.
No,
all right, so give us the scoop. Where'd you come from? Where are you at now?
Is that good, nerds? Before we go,
I don't have Starlink. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So why on God's earth is my? Yeah, I'm glitching out like crazy. But yeah, I'll try to get a story in, and then if I keep glitching out, we'll.
Real quick, my wife is in here. She's actually listening, and she says she misses you, Tim. She says we miss you.
We. Does that mean you too, Ben? Or
that might be Emma. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen Emma since she was infant. I'm not sure if she remember me.
Probably not.
I miss you all too, Kaylee. I think about you guys a lot.
All right. So where were you? Where are you at now? And tell us a little bit about the journey of getting there.
All right. Fingers crossed on my connection. I obviously was in Big Bend for the last 6 months. And then I have moved to Arizona. I came via New Mexico, spent some time in Sedona, Flagstaff area. No Till Motel. This is my housing, boop. This is where I live now. So yeah, spent some time in Sedona, Flagstaff area, which is honestly a shit show. It's beautiful, but so many people. I've been isolated for a while, so my hermit kicked in. And now
Oh no, he did it again.
Oh no.
Now he's actually just messing with us. He did it really well. It was good execution.
Yeah, those eyes. You know, I'm not going to take him off the screen either. I kind of like that. It's kind of there. He is. You're back again.
I'm going to reboot here quick. I'll come back in. All right. It's probably
All right, we'll
best
All right.
troubleshooting.
That works. We're gonna move over to Jonathan. So Jonathan, Mr. Woodall Trails, actually took a visit to Hilltop Packs. I got to meet the man in person. I even gave him a little mini hug, like a half hug thing. That thing you do, guys do, trying to be cool. We did that once. So
We full luck, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure what he did so wrong. But
So, Jonathan, why don't you tell us about your tour from your perspective? We like when hikers show up because we only get maybe 2 or 3 a week actually show up in our shop because there's no trails around us. So anytime somebody comes in, we stop what we're doing. Everybody gives you the full tour. But what's it like on your end coming in and seeing those guys that work there?
I mean, I didn't expect it that way at all. It was, I mean, I kind of expected, and I didn't expect it as a lot bigger than I thought. But the way that you've just grown is just amazing, and the product that you provide too is just awesome. Like, there's so much that you do in house. Like, and if you don't do it in house, you're keeping it close by. And if it's not close by, it's still staying in the U.S. I mean, like you said, you do what you preach, and you're doing it.
Sounded pretty cool when I said it, didn't it? Okay.
All
Yeah.
shenanigans at Hilltop Packs is actually made in house as well. None of that's well,
all
some
the
of it's imported from Canada, but the majority of it is all in house.
That's right. We're gonna move over to Daft Punk here because his face was in our shop once, but he wasn't actually there. But Devin's face was in our shop. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Jonathan, where did you guys actually do a trip somewhere? Where'd you guys actually go?
So I actually drove up from Somerset from Kentucky and drove up to West Virginia to Fairmont and stayed the night with my buddy Rich that I hiked with in Cranberry about a month ago. And then we drove up the next day, but you're about I think about 30 minutes to 45 minutes from his house. We came seen you. And then after we seen you, we drove on up to Caledonia State Park in Pennsylvania, and we had the Spring Maha.
Very cool, man. Actually, I'm gonna try to get someone else here in the group. So, guys, if you're watching this, you can actually click on the link I'm going to post, and you can actually join us. If there's anyone in the group that owns a food company, a new backpacking food company, click that link, and we're going to throw you in here. So there's only one person. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So back to Tim. Tim, tell us about your journey from point A to point B.
This is always so exciting when you never know if you're just going to. Anyway, so yeah, I'm the North Rim is like probably 200 yards behind me. I've been here since yesterday. All moved in, and I start bartending at the North Rim Lodge. Start training tomorrow. We don't open till the 15th, so until then, I have like the entire place to myself. It's insane. The road's closed all the way up here. It's like 47 miles off the road, and you'd think that doing what I do for work, there'd be tons of hikers, but you get about 30 feet out on the trail and there's nobody. So it's pretty
You
awesome.
said a road's closed. Maybe I missed part of it. Why is the road closed where you're at? What did I miss?
They don't open the North Rim until the 15th of May.
Oh, okay. Just because of winter. Okay.
Yeah. So we're all up here moved in. I'd say, I don't know, a couple hundred employees, but
So you're really by yourself.
yeah, with the
That's
exception of
awesome.
all the employees who don't hike anyway. So yeah,
Which is
it's
wild.
pretty sweet.
Tim's journey from 4G
I
to
don't-
3G.
I don't understand how you could like live in that area and not hike at all.
Well, a lot of these folks are just, they do this to pay the bills. They love like overtime I don't take much overtime, but there's a lot of options here. And I mean, it's just like anybody else. They're kind of like the car campers of the seasonal world. They're still here to see the beautiful stuff. They're just not necessarily hikers. And once in a while, there's a backpacker on staff, but I haven't met hardly anybody here yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Pretty cool,
excited.
buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to come see you. I know I keep saying that, but I'm hoping this time I actually do get to come see you. I know Kaylee keeps trying to work something out my schedule so I can come down and hang out with you for a little bit and be
Yeah.
a third wheel with you and your lady friend for a few days.
Yeah, with any luck, we could get some dates together and get some other friends down too. Do like 2-3 nighter.
I like it.
I wouldn't get your hopes up, Tim. He keeps telling me he's going to come visit me too, and here
I don't
am
have my
alone in
passport.
Canada.
I don't have a
Oh,
passport.
Let's talk about something interesting.
Okay, back to
You
Chad.
guys-
Back to Chad.
Oh, I
Take
don't
it
have
away, Chad.
anything.
Something
I don't have
interesting
any
like killing our families or something. That seems pretty.
Listen, that was an interesting story. So if you don't like that, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you got too much stuff going on your head. You really need some laser lights and glow sticks going on or something.
Man, I
'cause
actually realized after that I sat down that I should have set up all my lights behind and had them doing something. But
you definitely should have.
my
Yeah,
bad.
every week Devin dresses up and we never really draw attention to it, but now we're talking about it like crazy.
Yeah.
And he's
What are you talking about? This is my standard live stream getup.
what if you went to work
All
like
right.
that tomorrow? You walked in someone's house and
I'm
changed their
getting
air
laughed
filter
at
in the
right
house.
now.
I was just gonna say tomorrow I want you to live stream from work while wearing that and prove to everyone exactly what you just said.
Don't
All
tell
right,
me it was
guys.
a good time, Chad.
Okay, so we do have a theme for tonight. We got a bunch of questions. I used a Chad GTP for a bunch of questions, and since we're all hikers and we all meet strange people on the trail, or sometimes we meet new people that we just met at the trailhead, and so these are things to ask a stranger just to get the conversation going. So we're gonna go around here, and we're gonna start with Chad since he's. Wait, you know what we should do first? Devin, should we show him what our costumes were from last week? We had a costume
Oh, yeah.
contest. Me and Devin dressed
This
up
is
as
actually
Chad.
part of it, so I'll leave this
Yeah.
on for now.
Forgot about this. So me and Devin dressed up as Chad, and we had everybody vote to see who had the better costume. And they didn't pick a
Also,
winner. So Chad,
Don't
you get to
forget
pick.
look down.
Okay, we're gonna do it on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, this is a tricky one. This is tricky. Here's the thing. Ben's room's got a little more depth. So
So it's nothing like
this is hard. This is hard.
There's
I'm
no
gonna
poop on
go
my
with
floor though.
your floor is pretty brown. So and I can't see Devin's. So we'll get back to it. I'll come up with a winner
All
at
right.
the end. And the winner will get something very special from me.
So just
Very
to be clear,
special.
we got just as many laughs this week as we did last week. So-
None.
You like how
okay.
I
didn't
thought you guys were
react.
changing. I was dumb enough to think you guys were actually changing into costumes. So
Well, that was
it
the
took me
beauty
a
of it.
while to get
We're just not going to come back. We're just going to wait and wait and wait and
we
wait.
have a deck waiting.
Okay, in the chat, if you guys have any questions, oh look at this guy. We got somebody
Yeah,
new.
that's he's here.
Heyo!
Hey, Luke.
What's
So,
up, guys?
I'm going to give you the floor for a second. I want you to introduce yourself and talk
Oh,
about your
boy.
business for a second. This is your big spiel. You have potential to gain 19 new customers right now.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow. The pressure's
and
on.
go.
Use it wisely.
My name is Luke Pearsall, and I recently started launched Trail Goods Company, which is a freeze-dried camping meal company based in Denver, Colorado. And we launched with 4 really good flavors that I think the world is enjoying at the moment. About to get restocked on a big second order like tomorrow. So very exciting times over here, but new business growing every day, but grinding. I'm in the middle of packing orders as we speak.
Awesome. As a business owner, and I've been self-employed my whole life, I love watching small businesses. I like watching them start up and grow and watch them hustle and grind. And I've watched all your posts, and I feel like from the very beginning,
Yeah.
I feel like there were some times where I could see it in your face. You're like, I don't know if this is even going to happen. And even though you weren't saying it, but I could see it in your face. And I know that struggle, but the good ones
I
push
I
through.
feel that way now. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what-
I don't think that's going to change. But Ben, I don't know if you know this, but you and I have like a fairly similar background. I was a commercial photographer for
We do.
20 years.
But you were a good one.
yeah,
So just to be clear.
Yeah. No, yeah, I shot, advertisements for big brands all across the country and the world, and had kind of a wild little ride there. And I worked in film and television on TV shows like Lost and Entourage on HBO, and made a few movies
awesome.
and things like that. So
Yeah, I was trying to think back, and I know you and I talked a long time ago, but I couldn't remember if we talked just by text or chat or Instagram or even talked on the phone. I'm not sure what we did, but I know we talked at a very early stage of Hilltop Packs. And I remember you
I
telling me a
remember.
little, But I can't remember. Did we talk on the phone or we just talk by text?
I think we just talked via text. It was probably like 2020. I think.
I'll be back.
2019.
Yeah, we were just getting off the ground, and we're both photographers. Talked a little bit. You told me about your background. I thought it was really cool. Some of the commercial stuff you've been doing, and you gave me a few minutes of your time. I was still struggling to get this thing off the ground, and it was just kind of cool to hear your story at that time. But then to watch it kind of come around a few years later, and you're one building a company, and Chad and I are kind of trying to hold on to what we have, and now we're in this kind of we're past COVID, we're past the growth of this outdoor industry, and now we're kind of like in that plateau stage. Okay, we want to get to the next stage. And watching somebody new kind of start up is kind of exciting. And it so it's what has been like the hardest challenge. We're gonna bring one more guy here. Why not bring another guy? Well, what's been like the hardest challenge for you?
What's up, Jason?
Howdy.
I would say the hardest challenge of this whole startup process was I had previously built another brand, and I had like 12 employees to do a lot of the day-to-day stuff that I am now doing all on my own. Like, I didn't know about sales tax. I just asked the accountant to do it,
Yep.
Now I got to know about sales tax or we had a shipping department. The order came in, the order got shipped out. Now I got to learn everything about shipping. I mean, you really have to know everything about everything now. So
Chad might be able to jump in, but for me, shipping has been one of the biggest pain in my butts, and understanding how to get the best deals, and am I getting the best deal? And when I call some of our reps, they don't really answer the question the right way. And I'm not sure what all the secrets are, but I know people are getting better deals. Like, how do I pull that off? I don't we're connected to Shopify. We use ShipStation with one brand. We use another shipping company for another one. And none of them are getting a really good deal. I have no idea. So it is tough to navigate by yourself when you wear all the hats. Speaking of hats, Chad, are you in the same situation?
I mean, our biggest struggle definitely is our down cost and supply in general. The market's so competitive on down now, with so many startup companies making quilts and sleeping bags, and the down industry has exploded, which has in turn jacked the prices way up and made the demand significantly. That's been our biggest struggle for the last 2-3 years, is just constantly running into shortages on down, or the down that we projected for the whole year they ran out of 6 months early, or just constant, always supply issues. But I will say, hopefully in the not so distant future, trail goods will be on UGQ's website.
That's right.
That's what we're hoping for as well. For me. I placed an order. I've already eaten a couple of them here at home. I've yet to use them on the trail.
I haven't.
I'm
still waiting to try mine.
Yeah, my trip got canceled a week ago, so I didn't get to go on that one. But I have one more coming up. So I've been eating them at home. I sent Luke a picture of it, and he made fun of me for how much water I used.
So I've never seen it. I've never seen the stir-fried noodles look like a soup before.
Luke, do you ship to Canada? That's the important question here.
It's really hard for me to ship to Canada because there's meat products, and
I kind of assumed so.
Yeah,
dang.
It's
Does
tricky.
anybody like shipping to Canada? I don't.
I mean, I've ordered from both of your guys' companies, so I mean, apparently,
I just have people from Canada come to me.
I do know a couple people that literally have an American address that are right across the border that kind of order all their stuff and then take it back.
That's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
Here's a comment here for you. I know Devin over at Backcountry Exposure is one of your good buddies.
Yeah.
So Greg, that's where he heard about you.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I heard about it today on
That's
Devin.
where I first saw his product too, because obviously I talk to Devin all the time. So he put me in contact
every
with
Wednesday.
Luke, Luke, we just talked for the first time, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I'd say. I mean, Devin is like an insanely generous person with his time, energy, and influence. He showed up when I launched the brand at the Hunt Expo in Salt Lake City and worked for 2 days for no pay and just
that's
crushed
awesome.
it.
Nice.
Was
he's a good dude.
Yeah. And I think he's like one of the best, gear reviewers I know. He knows everything about everything.
That's
So
why I send him.
Is it okay if we go ahead and pick your brain for a few more questions before we move on to our silly questions we're going to ask the panel here? But I have a few more questions for you. So what was like the first spark that made you think, okay, I want to do this. I can do this. Let's go. What was it?
Yeah, I think years ago, I actually, I met the guys from Peak Refuel right when they were starting. they were at their first like I think it was outdoor retailer, and they were tucked like way in the back corner. They just had like a table set up with probably a non-branded tablecloth or something at the time. And I got to talking to Seth and Bart, who became like industry friends. And I was only making photos. That was the only thing I was interested in, was content creation. But like I saw the spark in them that there was like a hole in the industry that needed changing, and that's why Peak Refuel has honestly been so successful. Is like they filled that hole. But for me, I think it can go beyond that a little bit more. And smaller companies like my company and like Pinnacle Foods and some of the other brands that are kind of newish, they're doing things a little bit different. It's kind of turning the traditional meal thing on its head. Like, we're making real food as opposed to kind of food that was meant to last 25 years. If you make food that lasts 5 years, you can do a lot more with it.
Yeah, and the two that I've eaten so far were really good, so the quality's there. And myself, I'll first of all eat anything, so I'm probably not the best judge as far as how good the food is. However, what I do like is the story behind the stuff. Like, I love Chad's story. Like, I've picked his brain about how he grew his company, how he ended up where he is right now, and I loved watching your story. Like, all the stuff I buy, even the stuff I buy for other businesses, I try to support somebody local if I can, or somebody in Pennsylvania if I can, or somebody in West Virginia, or even just the United States. And nothing against Canada. I just like the story behind it. I like the companies. I like that I know the owners, or at least have seen them on a YouTube video, or just there's a story there that makes me happy. That satisfies me. So it's been really cool watching you do this, and I can't wait to sell your stuff.
Thank you. Yeah,
on my website, way before you do UGQ's website. That'd be really cool.
So, well, I cooked 4,000 pounds of food this month, so
that's probably enough. Yeah.
Luke, what made you get into food? So you said you're in photography and content creation, video production, etc.
Sure.
What made you want to get into the food industry of all things?
It's very strange, because I think, kind of like maybe everyone here, I was just like an avid outdoors person, and I was obsessed with gear, just like a Devin or everybody else, on the panel, I'm sure. And I got hired to actually come into another brand as a consultant and like basically write out a plan on how they could turn their company around.
I watched you do that, and it looked really cool. And at the point where it seemed like it was ready to take off, I was surprised to see you guys part ways.
Yeah. So, I mean, a quick story there. There was just a change in ownership, and the company I worked for was really more focused on emergency food. And they viewed my vertical that I ran in the company, which, by the way, they hired me after the consultation because they liked the plan. And, I was just really interested in trying to build a brand. But yeah, they moved in a different direction, and I thought I was getting promoted the day that the new CEO called me into his office and go, yeah. I worked all weekend, had like a very detailed, scaled out plan for the growth of the company, but I could still use it. So.
Oh man. Well, speaking of branding, let's talk about the packaging, because that's the first thing I noticed was like how cool the graphics were, how cool, even just down to the font, the way you wrote everything out, your logo. I obviously you've had probably 99% of the input onto that. I'm sure you designed it all yourself.
Yeah, I did it all myself. I shouldn't say all myself. I do have a friend who is a very well-known branding expert that gave me guidance along the way. But
it couldn't be more perfect for what you're trying to do. And you want it to be a mainstream product, you want it to sell a lot, but it also feels like this could be a small company with a story behind it. And I think that's the part I keep looking at. Like, this was so well done, because it does that. It looks professional, but it is a cottage company trying to do big things, and that's the vibe it kind of gives off.
I think that in some ways that hurts me a little bit, because it presents like it's a bigger company than it is. So I get
it's a balance, and that we do the same thing. You play that game where you want to take advantage of being a small company while you're a small company, because people kind of get behind that. Once you get to be too big, or if you portray yourself as being too big, you lose that. You lose that tribe that's behind you, pushing you. You're like, oh, you're too big now. Or
we have people think that we have a full call center. Like,
yeah.
No, they're not even close. I don't even answer the phone. We don't even have a phone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Same here. It's like, please don't call the number if you find it.
What is Tim doing?
He's not
Meanwhile, Hilltop Packs just has Tim's number and they call him.
Hey guys.
Oh,
Oh
Tim
my
is
God.
on desk.
Please
I
don't turn
needed a
that
little
off.
bit extra Tim in my life, honestly.
When it comes to technology, I know my shit.
Technology.
You just need
So,
to even out that line a
These
little
are
bit.
actually both of the people in for Hilltop Packs. If you call in, you're either going to get Tim, or potentially you're going to get Tim as well. So it's between one of them, maybe.
Oh my God, that is so funny. It's kind of creepy. Okay,
Yeah.
last question for Luke, and then we'll move on. So
Sure.
obviously, I think the branding's on point. You're doing such a good job. I can tell it's you when you look at the branding. If you look at any of your social media stuff, it all fits very well done. But what was the point during that journey where you thought maybe you're further along and it's like you hit a roadblock, this isn't going to happen? What was that big thing, and how'd you overcome it?
I think when we got to the point where like it's all well and good, like I could do the marketing side and like the branding side, no problem. Like I've done it before for like multiple brands. But when it came to like the nuts and bolts of like, you got to put in a massive order and you need a lot of money to do that. And you're just like rolling the dice at this point. Like I am yeah, I was like, I don't know, like, am I asking friends for money? Am I, dipping into my 401k? What am I doing here? And truly, for the largest part of, I have bootstrapped the entire thing. So, like, I literally, if this fails, it's pretty hard to come back from, or will take a minute to come back from. But
and that is what is he anyway? That is one of the biggest things. It's hard to people to understand. And Chad gets it. He's put it all out there, and you've done it now. But how big your balls have to be, I can't stress that enough. Like people, they see once you succeed, once you make it, once you have a product out there, once you're doing sales, and maybe you bought a new motorcycle or two. They just assume it was just easy.
Yeah.
They see the end. They don't see the first year or two of you just grinding and just suffering and grind sometimes. But in your heart, you know you can do it.
I'm working on a decade right now, so
yeah. I mean,
Chad still cries himself to sleep actually fairly regularly.
I was crying right before I got on here looking at sales. So
That's probably still the chlorine gas a little bit.
It's hard to turn
just
it off.
constantly watering.
That's for sure. It's hard to turn it off before you go to bed. A lot of sleepless
Good.
nights. And right when I was about to launch, I had a kidney stone.
Big got big balls.
Oh, wow. Also, hiking buddy Preston. Thanks, Preston. Appreciate that. He does know.
I can say I'm very interested, as I told you, very interested in trying your product. I think it's good timing. I think that what you're doing is something new and refreshing in the outdoor space. There's so many companies trying to do what you're doing, but I think Ben hit it. I think you've got the right branding, the right marketing. You're making the right connections, building the right network. I'm super excited for you. I'm super excited to carry your products and sell them.
Thanks, Jeff.
I'm pretty sure those 4,000 meals you made were for me, Ben. So you better back off.
Yeah.
I do want to say one more thing that I forgot, and Luke, you mentioned this in a chat we had. It's the one thing I thought I was going to hate, and I ended up absolutely loving about your product, and it's the packaging. When I first picked it up, it was really thin. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna. This is such a bad idea. And then when I actually used it, it was like, that's not a problem at all. And then when I was done with it, I was like, oh, that, like you mentioned, you can throwing away the trash. It takes up very little space in your pack. You think about Mountain House meals, how much volume it takes because it's such a rigid packaging. Your stuff is nice and thin. There's that guy. And it kind of just, we're going to let Devin B over here. So we have Devin A from Canada and Devin B from the United States. Oh my God. Okay. So Devin, talk about the packaging with Luke over here. I love the packaging and how it crumples up as garbage, takes up very little space. Go.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that was
Either
my
one of you.
design actually, so every time you pick up a Mountain House or a Peak Refuel package, it's really like, I'm sure a lot of you have done this. Like if you have a lot of them, you take them out and put them in a Ziploc bag, and that's the only way to get them into America. Hey, Devin, there's that guy.
Did you just now realize he was here?
I truly did just realize
that.
Hey, and this other guy that's down here am I facing the right way? I don't know.
No, you're not.
I suck at hiking. We're going to talk to him in a minute here too, because he made a killer video that I need everybody to go watch after this live stream.
Good deal. So, Chad, I'll let you just take it. But anyway, Luke, congratulations. Stick around, stay on the panel here. Because if you leave, actually, if you stay in here, we make up half of the audience in the right now. So stay there. We are not doing this for views. We're not doing this for sales. We're doing this so we have some fun. So please stick around.
For sure.
I'll let Chad take over for a little bit. Go ahead, buddy.
So, hey, Devin. Nice to see you, buddy.
Howdy.
I see you got my text to get on the live
Yeah.
stream.
I can only stay for like 30 seconds, but
Okay, see you later.
love you.
So if you don't know who that is, that's Devin with Backcountry Exposure on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow. I wanted him to get on because he's the one that connected the dots with Luke from Trail Goods and hooked really kind of shed light on Trail Goods for most of us, I think. So Devin, thank you on Luke's behalf for making all that happen. Okay, get back to work. See you later, buddy.
Devin, I generously thanked you.
Yeah, he did. He gave you a good shout out. So.
Hey, if the food was crap, we'd be having a different discussion. But the food is fantastic. So
appreciate it.
I will make a full review video in great detail when I get mine finally.
It's coming out tomorrow. So
excellent.
Woo! And also, Jason, I didn't forget about you. I know I didn't say hi to you, but hey, you jumped in when there was too many people talking already. So
I'm gonna go keep playing with my kids. See ya.
All right.
Later, Devin.
All right. This guy over here. Am I pointing the right way?
Not at all. Not even close.
This guy over here. That's opposite on my side. So he bought a Quillo off of us. Well, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, and then I'm going to get into the video that you made.
I am Michael McAnally. I thru hiked the Appalachian Trail last year, and so I fell in love with backpacking in 2020 when COVID happened, and they shut my jiu-jitsu gym down. And I'm a very active person, and I needed something to do, so I figured I'd pick up a new hobby, and fell in love with it, and have been living in the woods at least once a month ever since then. So
nice. And you started your YouTube channel when?
I started my YouTube channel prior to hiking the Appalachian Trail, and just wanted to document the process. Became a gear junkie in the process. Have Hilltops packed, food bag. Those guys printed my custom logo on one side, and me and my wife on the other side, I mean, like I said, I became a very, very big gear junkie, and just fell in love with the space and started making videos and just enjoy the creative process. I do a mixture of vlogging along with my gear review stuff.
So you sent me a video recently of the Quillo and your experience with it. And honestly, I've worked with a lot of YouTubers over the years, and this is probably one of my favorite videos ever of a UGQ related product, whether it was one of our videos or a customer video or review video. I don't know why, I absolutely love that video. So when you get a minute, go over to I Suck at Hiking on YouTube and check out the video. What's the name of the video?
Your summer sleeping bag is useless, or something like that. Your summer sleeping bag is useless. Your sleeping bag is useless in the summer. Yeah, your sleeping bag is useless in the summer.
So I love that video. When did you first get your Quillo, and did you use it for the entire summer section of your AT thru hike?
Yeah, so I started in February, and I started February 21st. I summited July 21st. In the later months of my thru hike, it was getting like I'm talking about hot. I mean, there was a day that I didn't pass a creek without sitting in it. It got hot. So carrying a 20-degree quilt was ridiculous. And as a matter of fact, Chad, I reached out to you guys and said, hey, I'm thinking about getting a Quillo for this, northern stretch of my through hike. And you were like, you guys advised me not to. You were like, no, get a 40-degree quilt or something like that. You know what I mean? And I was like, but I'm a hot sleeper. So I was like, I know I'm a body temperature guy. I'm a hot sleeper. I was like, if this thing's good for 50 degrees and I just put some layers on, I think I can get it down to 40 degrees. I'm good. And so I ordered the Quillo Deluxe. And yes, so I carried the Quillo Deluxe for the last month and a half. So basically it got me from, I think, from New York to Maine. So, I mean, I used it in the white, in the summer. I used it, all the way through Maine and some of the Katahdin with a Quillo as my quilt.
No, that's awesome. And I know why I didn't recommend it in 2 reasons. One, because we didn't have enough data on people using it on the AT specifically, because it is a much more humid environment. And so I know my 40-degree quilts are tried and true, and I know what they're comfort rated for. And so the Quillo was more of a, tester product. But it's funny because now there's probably about 200 plus people that we've talked to that are also using Quillos on the AT, which is nuts because we never suspected that would be the case. So when you did your video, it was a lot of confirmation for us as a company that this is actually truly replacing people's summer setup. And obviously the weight of it is pretty spectacular. So really, really cool video. And it definitely, well, we'll talk more because I'm going to see you in a couple
right
weeks.
now on YouTube.
You're going to be at Trail Days, right?
Yes. I was making my plans today on how to get there. So I'm going to be hiking into town. So I'm going to fly in on Wednesday, hike into town, be there Friday.
Awesome. So anybody that doesn't know, Trail Days down in Virginia, May 15th or 16th-ish, that weekend. Come down to Trail Days. It's an awesome time. So really appreciate the video.
That Quillo product is when you use a quilt, a lot of people, like it says, they use all the hardware and everything that comes with the quilt, right? I literally used the hardware for my quilt on my entire 5-month through hike twice. And I was like, because I don't attach it to the pad. I don't need all of that stuff, So especially when I was past cold weather, I don't want all the extra stuff. So 15 ounces, no hardware, perfect.
Awesome.
I got to get one of those.
Like I said, man, that video was awesome. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people watching it now. I also am planning on using some of that video and chopping it up into some shorts to put on our social media, which obviously I'll tag you into. So super appreciate you doing that because it's a good video.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I put a lot of time and effort into it.
It showed, and it was good. So appreciate it, man.
No problem.
If you get a chance, while we're on here, post that link to the video in the chat so everybody can see it. And I want to copy it and save it so I can watch it later as well.
Yeah,
well, thank you very much. So definitely stick around. All of you guys stick around. I got some questions. So here's the theme of tonight, which it took a little while to get here, but things to ask a stranger. We all meet people on trail. We sometimes meet total strangers at the trailhead and go hiking with them. So things to ask a stranger. I ask ChatGTP, which we call Chad GTP. And we're going to go around really quickly. It could be a one-word answer. It could be a long sentence or a paragraph, whatever you want it to be. Chad, you're going to go first. What is a hobby you've always wanted to try? And I'll go first. Mine was going to be jujitsu. And it just happened to be that guy. Chad, go.
You said Chad, and then you answered first.
Hey, Chad, I'm going to steal your answer for you. All right, go.
I don't want you to say jujitsu. And you don't want to see how I spelled jujitsu over here. So I'm like...
All right. Repeat the question. What was the question?
Okay. What is a hobby you've always wanted to try that maybe one day you'll try when you're old and decrepit like me and Tim?
Oh, that's easy. Probably hiking.
Hiking.
Yeah.
I'd really like to get out there someday and actually hike. I did recently do a lengthy 2-mile trip with Joe, which was it felt like 30 miles after we climbed over about 400 trees that were ripped apart by tornadoes. So, but yeah, hiking would be my answer.
Brian, you should join the live stream here, buddy. First time for everything. Okay, Devin, you're going to be up next. What is a hobby you've always wanted to try and maybe you'll try one day?
Oh man, mountain biking seems pretty cool. It also seems, I got the helmet for it, so hey, maybe. But
please video that.
I mean,
With that helmet.
Devin dying. Here you go. I mean, I'm getting into fly fishing, so I mean, I've started that one, but I'm not really, great yet. So Jason's the real master down there.
All right, Tim, you're gonna be next. What is a hobby? Is he frozen again? Is that his face?
Or is he
He's
just
frozen.
deep in thought?
He's frozen.
He's frozen. All right, Jonathan.
Got 2G
come back
on
to
I'm
you.
back.
He's meditating.
That's like the third time he could be messing with me right now, but I'm not even sure. There he is.
Oh, there we go. There he is.
All right, Tim. Name
IT.
a hobby.
IT. I want to get into IT really badly.
You want to get into IT.
That's
No,
all
you
I've
don't,
been
trust
saying.
me.
His own
No, you
internet
don't.
problem.
Trust me.
Yeah, this is killing me. This is killing me, fellas. I want to talk. Damn it.
There's a lot of traveling remote IT workers out there. You'll fit right in. Perfect.
Yeah.
Who did we lose off the screen? Where did I
Oh,
start?
my second hiking guy jumped off. Oh,
Oh,
there
there
he
it
is.
is.
He's back.
Yeah, hang in there. Okay, so Tim, did you answer the question? You said IT. Is that a real answer?
No, I don't really have a real answer because I'm.
Oh my,
I guess it is IT.
that's his
He's
answer. It's
picking
IT.
up becoming a mime, actually, or one of those performers in Times Square where they're just like frozen.
Yeah, he's definitely messing. Oh, there he is. He's back again. All right, so Jonathan, I'm going to ask you,
Oh,
buddy.
he's-
So pick a hobby. What's a hobby you think you want to get into at some point in your life?
Well, there isn't one I haven't hardly tried, but I'd say probably I tried it once. Got hurt in the Army. I didn't get to do it, so it'd probably be jumping out of a plane. Now that I'm back, now that I'm down to the weight that I can be at, that's something I want to do.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'd do it.
I would sure.
My wife would kill me. So I mean, either way, I'm dying. But
Well,
yeah,
my wife would kill me, so
My wife would push me.
I usually just ask for forgiveness
I'm with you on
afterwards.
that. We're in the
You're
same
more dead than alive.
Brittany
All right,
would literally say to me, "Are you going like now or when's the next flight?"
I guess it depends on the day of the week and what I've done that day.
All right, so Luke is obviously living his dream right now, starting a new company. But what is a hobby? He just bailed on me. He's like, "Nope, done. I'm not answering that question."
Jason, your turn. Are you gonna leave us this time?
He's like, "My hobby is ghosting people." Okay,
Mhm.
Jason, let's pick a hobby. What's a hobby?
Welcome back.
This is such a professionally produced show. This is so amazing.
I know. I'm about to do the same thing here in a second. I'm about to go get like 7 cameras.
Luke, you're back. There you are.
I am back. I wanted to change camera angles as well.
This is your good side. I can see it. This is it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
So, what is a hobby that you want to pick up one day when you're done building your empire?
This one might be a little controversial, but in the hiking community, but like I think archery hunting is something that
That's what I was gonna say.
I have
yeah,
actually
already
always
a
wanted to do
hobby.
that.
super into.
It's fun.
Right next to my studio, we have an indoor archery place, and I keep saying I'm going to go in there, but I don't have a thing, a bow and arrow, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But they sell them there. One day when I get rich, I'm going to buy one and go play that too. So we'll go do
Yeah.
it together.
I've
I
just had
bought
so
one up
much exposure to the hunting community now because they're really like big consumers of the type of product I make.
Hmm.
And it seems like they have a really good time. I mean, they work hard in the backcountry. They've challenged themselves, and like when done responsibly, it's awesome.
That's the industry that we're tapping into currently. I've been a bow hunter for most of my life, so
Nice.
I'll teach you everything you need to know. You come hang out with me. We'll get you shooting a bow.
That's right.
You
No, I
can pay
think it's
him in meals as well. He does accept.
Yeah, bring the
meals.
meals. I'll bring the bow because neither of us are going to shoot anything. So as long as we
Yeah.
have, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm good at sitting places, so
Same. I'm good at sitting still and just covering up with my sweet camouflage quillo.
yeah, exactly. That's all you need. But yeah, I think that's cool. And I think actually, like, not to get serious about it, but like there is a big connection between hiking and hunting in the fact that like hunting tags pay for a lot of the trail maintenance and conservation of the areas that people love to hike in. So I think that goes by the wayside with a lot of hikers.
Yeah, people don't realize how much hunters actually contribute to like conservation and stuff. And like I've been a hunter my whole life, and you don't realize just how much money you put into it, as well as like trail maintenance and stuff like that. Like people out there trying to actually help the environment, not destroy it. For the most part, there's bad apples, but
yeah, there's bad actors everywhere. But like the majority of these, like the Mule Deer Foundation and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, they are stewards to like millions of acres of land that wouldn't be, supported if they weren't doing the things they do. So I get it. I think it's kind of cool.
All right, so
Nice.
bow hunting, good deal.
Yeah.
So I have Terry Young here had an idea what he wants to do one day. He's gonna get into break dancing. That's a good one. that was my third guess. So
I break every time I dance. So
all right, Jason, this is for you. What's a hobby you want to get into one day that you haven't quite done yet? Money's no object. Could be whatever.
Well, one was archery. I've always wanted to go up to Alaska again to like archery, going after like caribou up there. I think that'd be amazing.
Nice.
But otherwise would be pack rafting. I'm seeing so many people get into that. It's so much fun.
That'd be cool.
There'd be so many places I could get back and just fish that I couldn't normally fish. So yeah,
definitely like canoeing. Like a buddy of mine does a lot of canoeing. He's always sending me links to like, hey, there's a canoe for sale 30 miles from you. And like, okay, I'm not gonna go buy a canoe today. I kayak a little bit, but it's like $3,000 canoes. I'm not gonna just pick up a new canoe hobby tomorrow. But anyway, it's not about me today. It's all about I suck at hiking and what he wants to do one day with his life. So what is a hobby you want to pick up? You've already done jiu-jitsu. You already conquered backpacking. What's the next thing you want to do?
Man, I've tried so many things in my life. I've rodeoed. I've ridden bulls.
I'm not laughing.
I have taken on kayaking in deep sea fishing in the Pacific Ocean down in the country of Panama. So it's a difficult question because if I want to do something, I just go do it. I just figure out how to go do it and I just go do it. So right now, I'm tackling the Colorado Trail later this year, but that's more hiking. Man, I don't know.
I think you just became everybody's hero with that last statement that you just do whatever you want when you want, and that's that. I think we can all learn a lesson from
that. Yeah. I mean, I've done so many like weird things over the years, but hiking has definitely been my new obsession, and I spend a lot of time and energy trying to get to places that nobody else goes to. So I enjoy it.
It's a good obsession to have.
It is.
That's interesting. Ben actually really wants to be a mime. That's or a ventriloquist.
to his audio.
The other thing that I would probably like to do one time is I would like to do like an open mic at a comedy place.
RGB Coffee Friday nights.
Yep.
Open mic.
Scary.
You.
Difficult.
You're really selling us, Ben.
But I think that it would be a fun experience.
There's a mute button on that thing. Who knows? Who knew that?
So you did want to try comedy. So have you ever done comedy before?
Never.
So you just want to do it for the awful experience. Like you just want that.
Just do it for the giggles.
To see if you can get up on stage and make other people laugh is, I love comedy. So yeah, it would be fun. It's like I said, I've had to work really hard at trying to figure out how to get people to watch the YouTube videos. You know what I mean? That's something you got to figure out. You know what I mean? You can't just do a video and people watch it. So comedy is the same way. You can't just go up there and say what you think is funny. You know what I mean? You have to make it in a way that other people find funny. So
and a lot of the videos, I watch a lot of comedy stuff, and I love watching them when they start talking about the comedians get together. And they talk about like their worst nights or when they bomb hard, and they're laughing at that. They're laughing at the experience they had maybe early on or last month, but it's when they bombed, and those stories are hilarious. So do you think you would find some kind of enjoyment out of bombing? Do you think you could get to that point where that would be you just disappeared in the dark? Sneaking up on me now.
My dog is barking and wanting to go out. I'm coming back. All right, here I am.
I've definitely told jokes that no one laughed, and I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I just put it all out there, and no one laughed. I'll give you an example. I've used this example a few times on this show. Here's my example of telling a joke that bombed that I think is hilarious, and me telling it to people is even more hilarious, and they still don't think it's funny. And I think that's hilarious. So at our coffee shop, we gave away free kazoos for a day, and we gave everybody a free kazoo. It made no sense. No one got it. It was National Kazoo Day. We thought it'd be funny. Passed a bunch of them out. Well, I took one home with me and I put it on the dash of my truck. kind of forgot about it. A few days later, my neighbor, who I've barely talked to, comes over, and he's talking me through the truck, and he's asking questions about the neighborhood, whatever. But then he looks, he goes, "Why do you have a kazoo on the dash of your truck?" And I looked at him, I said, "Because my horn doesn't work." And I thought that was hilarious. And he didn't laugh. He just looked at me like, I don't get that at all. And so I in my mind, it was like the perfect joke. And every time I explain it, like just now, again, no one laughed. But in my mind, I love that so much. So is that something could you thrive in that space where someone doesn't think what you think is funny?
Yeah, I don't know if I would thrive or not thrive, but I want the experience of seeing if I can. It's just one of those things that you just want to. I want to try it one time. You know what I mean? And I mean, I've done public speaking, so I'm not afraid to talk on stage. But like I said, my favorite comedy show is Kill Tony, because they give those guys 1 minute. It could be the homeless guy from the corner, it could be a professional comedian of 8 years, and they have 1 minute to try to make this audience laugh. And I just love that, that format.
Yeah, Kill Tony is awesome. If you guys haven't watched Kill Tony, you're missing out. It's been on for like 10 years or something like that. It's amazing. The whole format is just crazy, and how it's just now taken off. It's been a YouTube sensation for years, but I think now it's on Netflix, or they have a special on Netflix. I didn't watch that one yet, but looks pretty good.
I watched it. It was pretty good.
Amy. Okay, hold on a second. Amy's
Amy,
our
what are you
general
doing in
manager.
here?
She is our general manager for Hilltop. I keep it. Amy, here, turn your camera on and click on that link and join us.
Do it or you're fired, Amy. Right now.
I invite her every week to be on this show. We need more women
on,
on
Amy.
here, and she's as close to a woman as I can find. So come on, Amy.
Oh man.
If you're going to be hiking the CT, by the way, you got to talk to that man right there, Greg Morton. He's out in Colorado and knows quite a bit about the trail as well. So, and he's an all-around great guy.
I hiked and I just can't remember anything.
Fair enough. And it's on my list. It's so beautiful. It's actually watching people hike the Colorado Trail was really what made me want to do like long distance backpacking and stuff. Not that I do that, unfortunately, but it's made me want to do it more. Like watching, I can't remember who it was do it. I can't remember. Anyways, it's just watching the beautiful like rolling hills and then up and through the mountains. It's
yeah. I mean,
breathtaking.
I had an opportunity to go out there last year to test my cold weather gear before, because when I was about to leave for the Appalachian Trail, we didn't have, I live in Florida. We don't have cold weather to test cold weather gear. So I flew out to Colorado and I went out in the Lost Creek Wilderness, which is like a 25-mile like loop little thing. And man, it was like stepping back into time. I expected like a dinosaur to come out from around the corner and just, because it was just that, and I saw nobody for 3 days and it was absolutely glorious. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I took 5 months to do the AT last year. I can't take another 5 months off again this year to do something big, but I can do the Colorado Trail in like a month. So
yeah, you should definitely be able to do it in a month. The funny thing about that is, my best friend is Jeff Garmeyer. I don't know how many of you are familiar with him, but he in the same year that I did it in 30 days, he did it in 9. So
he did it in like 3 hours, and he stopped and had lunch.
Yeah, I was like the hardest thing ever, and then he was like, yeah, when I go do it next week. When are you going to be done? 9 days later.
All right,
Brian,
guys.
welcome to the show.
Oh, got a new guy.
Thanks.
Welcome.
First time.
Never seen this guy before.
First time. All right. So we're asking some simple questions. These are questions to ask a stranger. My microphone's on, right? Chad, I'm going to let you go first right after I answer the question.
Ben, did you mute yourself again?
No. Okay, so Chad, what food could you happily eat every single day? And before you answer, I'll go first. I would eat peanut butter every day. Now you go.
I'm really sick of you stealing my lines here, Ben. Every day?
Every day. Name a food you can eat every single day.
Ooh. How much time do I get?
More than I've already given you.
Listen, that's probably the deepest question I think you've ever.
I think I'd go with Caesar salad. Honestly, that'd be my guess. Like some chicken Caesar salad probably is.
Listen, Chad, this is a softball question. You're supposed to say, food company, Trail Goods.
I've not had it yet.
Said that, but I was thinking of other things.
Wait, you could. Not to mean you're doing it yet, but you could.
I could have, yeah, but me and Luke ain't tight like that yet.
Probably just like Locomoco.
There you go.
I was looking at that. That looks really good, actually.
I ain't gonna lie, I just ordered it.
It's the best seller so far, so people are loving it.
This whole show is just about you now, Luke. So we're probably going to add you in the intro, and it's going to be a whole thing.
Hey,
so.
if you
Nope,
can
it's
actually,
about me.
if you can,
Yeah,
So this guy wants to-
talks about himself.
Lane's asking when the 5D is going to be back in stock. Here's the problem with the 5D. The 5D is a 5D of Dyneema 5-ounce Dyneema backpack, really heavy duty. We can only get so much of it right now, so we're kind of limited. I have some, but I don't want to use it all for the 5D Raven. Reason for the back panel of all of our regular Ravens. So
I thought
Lane,
five
send
Ds
me
was
one.
dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
hopefully soon. Okay, Jonathan, what's something you can eat every single day?
I never even answer.
Jonathan, what is one thing you can eat every day?
Quit.
Jonathan, it's all you, man.
So many
See?
things. I mean,
It's
that's what
not
I'm,
an easy question.
I mean, I'm a sweets guy, so I mean,
You
something
just
that's
showed me a
sweet.
snack. I thought this question because Luke's here and because you literally showed us a snack before you went on the show.
I mean, I'll take these on every
There
trip
you
I go
go.
on.
Nice.
So I mean,
There you go.
I mean, I have this and a bottle of Coke Zero every trip. So I mean,
Good deal.
Ooh, Greg might be on something with the bacon. That might be my answer. I feel like I could eat that every.
That's an easy one. That's a go-to. Brian, we're gonna go with you. What would you eat every single day? Welcome to the show. First time. Pizza? Good deal. All right. I suck at hiking. What would you eat every single day?
On trail or at home?
Whatever, man.
Yes.
We got no rules around here. Look around.
I eat blueberries every day.
Blueberries, really?
Blueberries are good.
Every morning, blueberries and oats and almond milk. Yeah, that's my breakfast. I love it
Every morning.
every morning.
Well, you're a man of discipline, clearly, from all the things that you've
I have
described
yogurt
already. Make us
Granola
all
every
look like a
morning.
loser.
Yeah, on trail it was peanut M&Ms.
Ooh, good choice.
Those are good.
Those are good. Can't go wrong.
You guys
with
are making
those.
me hungry. Why are we talking about food, Ben? This is a bad idea.
Somebody invited Luke on here.
That's true.
That's right. So I'm trying to keep it on theme. Okay, Jason, Mr. Hook Outdoors. What could you eat every single day?
Grape Uncrustables.
Really?
Yes.
That is
Is there more
classic.
than one flavor?
Yes. And they
Strawberry.
now started making raspberry.
Oh, they got a
Ooh,
hazelnut
good.
one now too.
I like.
Oh wow.
Oh, they need a Nutella one that's just filled with Nutella, and that's it.
Oh.
Yeah, just Nutella.
Now, Luke, you have to pick one of your meals that you make and sell. You got to pick one. That's the one you're eating for the rest of your life.
That's tough because I narrowed it down to the 4 that I really like when I was making the selections. I'm gonna go with the Locomoco. Honestly, it's that rich. It's like a rich, beefy gravy with a lot of mushrooms and onions. It's kind of an untraditional breakfast, but it's yummy for sure.
Was there a flavor that you had thought of or tried that just did not work out, and you're really upset that it didn't work out, or that you thought was gonna be really good?
There was a bunch in the process. Like, tried to do, I tried to do like a pork, like a kind of a shredded pork. I just couldn't get to work, and also like the logistics of doing that on a large scale were really hard to cook and shred pork. Just some of the flavor profiles just didn't work out. Anything that's like super vinegary, you kind of lose vinegar in the freeze drying process. So I mean, you could do it by like adding a citric acid back and get a little of that tang, but like that's not the point of the meals. The meal is supposed to be fully cooked as is. So. But a lot of like anything that's like sort of like a one pot dish turns out really well.
Chili.
And the way I do it, the flavor's different because like a traditional mountain house is sort of all different elements put in that are already freeze dried, and then with like a dry sauce. But like everything I do is cooked together, so it does its thing in the pot, not in the rehydration process.
Nice.
Did everybody get a chance to answer? I think we did,
I
right?
believe so.
Even Chad. Did we let Chad answer? Did Chad answer the question?
I think so. Yeah, it worked out.
Other than that, though, I go gummy bears, like gold bears.
Gummy bears are good. Chad, what
I am
would
not
you eat?
Rob. You can't do this to me.
What,
My
What would you
logo is
pick?
on the intro.
And he's gone.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next. We got one more question. It's 10 o'clock. We'll go just a little bit over. I got one more question for you. So name something. We're gonna go with Devin first. So something you're really proud of. Maybe you got married a couple years ago and you had this world famous photographer come to your wedding. Maybe you're proud of that. That could be it. Would that be something on your radar, Devin?
I mean, it might be. Let's see. Wait, what's going on? You didn't interrupt me and take over and say what
I
you're
was
really
just
proud
ready
of?
to ask the same thing.
I appreciate you, Ben. You're a respectful guy, and you know that's honestly the best characteristic about you. Getting married, yeah, that was pretty good. Let's see. Just to throw out another thing, I sold a photo yesterday. I'm a professional photographer to this gentleman right down there-ish approximately. So thank
Jason?
you,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Jason.
Yeah.
He looks like a sucker. I get it. All right.
Yeah, he does. He fell for it. I'm not actually a photographer. I stole those off Google. Jokes on you guys. My
I
entire
thought they were made by ChatGPT.
Chat GPT. Yeah, all my pictures are fake. Exposed.
All right, Chad. So what is something you're very proud of? You got kids. Maybe you're proud of them. Maybe you're not. I don't know. What's something you're really proud of?
No, not so much. I mean, they're good kids and all, but proud, that's the I'm really proud of myself. I know that. I've done a lot of good work.
Changed a lot
You
of
know,
lives.
I did.
He almost removed some lives as well.
Listen, I actually, for the first time in 3 years, got all my weed killing done for the summer. So I won't have to run my line trimmer at all this year, which I am super proud of. It was a big deal. So I'm going to go with that.
We're proud
That's a
of you.
good
Chad.
answer. All right, Jonathan, same thing to you. What is something you're really proud of? Anything. Even
So
if no one else cares.
about 5 years ago, I was about 420 pounds, give or take, somewhere around that. I had bariatric surgery and lost about 200 pounds. So, well, actually lost I got down to 200 pounds. And I
That's
got back
crazy.
up to about 220.
That's
And
awesome.
it kind of just gave me my life back. I mean, I'm former military. I've constantly struggled with my weight my entire life. Got out of the military, gained it all back, and just had to do something about it. And then lost all the weight, and then started doing the backpacking thing. And it's kind of like Mr. I suck at hiking down there. It kind of just took off with me, and it's just something that I just love doing. I mean, it's the adventure.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, I just met you on what day was that? Friday, Thursday? I don't even know what day that would have been. But anyway,
Friday.
I would have never guessed that was how much weight you lost. That is insane. That's crazy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, awesome, man. Congrats.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right, Luke, what's something you're really proud of? You've done a lot of pretty big things. Is it I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe surviving my year in South America working as a guide was a big one. I led tours across the continent, and it was insanely brutal in a lot of ways. I was very young, and it was a wild time. We got mines that collapsed on us. Crossed borders into other countries illegally because there was riots on the border. It was a wild time, but it was fun. I'm kind of proud of that time for sure.
How long ago was that?
I was 25 when I was doing it, so 20 years
3
ago.
weeks ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Also, real quick, does anybody else feel like Michael is going to kick somebody's ass at any moment? He looks terrified.
I'm intimidated for sure. Yeah.
He's like just say one thing wrong, and I'm going to come through this screen and snap your neck before you even blink.
If you could back up a little bit, that'd be great.
Maybe if I come closer and I'm just face there. I just don't mean. I'm sorry.
Pump up your neck muscles. That's really helping us.
It's the blueberries that are so intimidating.
That's
Listen,
what
I'm
it
eating
is.
blueberries tomorrow. I'm gonna eat blueberries every day from look like that.
Body by
All right,
blueberry.
Jason, you're gonna be next. What is something you're proud of? Doesn't have to be the most proud thing, just something you want to talk about that you don't get a chance
Well,
to talk about.
there's two. I want to just show this real quick. This is like my crowning moment of fishing right there. made it on the cover of Fish Taco Chronicles. That is a magazine that is no longer being
That's
made.
cool.
The last issue just came out recently because the
Put them out of
owner of
business.
it had
Cool.
some health issues.
Proud of
Yeah,
it.
that was
Oh,
20 years in the
Nobody
making.
could
I
catch
feel
that
bad.
fish, so
That's cool.
But the other is I used to coach basketball for years, youth sports, like 7th, 8th grade basketball. And about 2 years ago, one of the guys I coached when he was in 7th grade came back and he posted this nice Instagram post about how it's all full circle now. He finally won a championship with his son. And first thing he did was thank me for being a coach that inspired him to get into coaching.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was back in '97 when I coached him. So yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool, man.
it's pretty cool. Full circle.
these are all making my answer sound increasingly awesome.
You want to redo your answer, Chad?
No, I'm 100. Listen, you don't understand how many weeds grow on my property and how big of a deal it is to get these weeds.
I agree. I'm
We're talking-
a little
I
jealous.
gave up on my weeds.
It's
Actually, I
awful.
gave up on them all.
The
I'm
first
looking
year I
at
moved in
a
here,
half acre of them.
yeah. So the first year I moved in here, I did it all the weed killing, and it was the greatest summer of my life. And then I didn't do it for the last 3 years, and it was literally the worst summers I can remember on record because of freaking weeds in my yard. So yeah, I'm super proud of it, and I'm not changing my answer. So just deal
And you
with it.
should be, Chad.
Thank
We're
you.
proud of you.
You come see it.
We're all very proud of you, Chad. All right, Mr. I suck at hiking. Same thing for you. What was the question? I already forget. Oh, what's something you're really
Michael, what
proud
are
of?
you
It sounds
proud
like
of?
you've done a million different things. What is something? It doesn't have to be the most thing you're proud of, but just something you're proud of. You want to talk about?
No, it does. It needs to be the thing you're most proud of.
That's tough.
No,
That's
it's
hard.
not.
I
Look,
can't think
look
of
at
anything.
him. He knows exactly what he's most proud of. You think he doesn't have an answer? I bet you $1 million he knows exactly what he's most proud of. Go.
I'm not going to assume shit. I'll let him answer.
It's always the next thing, though. You know what I mean? So it's always the next thing that I'm trying to achieve. So when so before before I finished the AT, which was, that was a huge moment, obviously. Finishing a through hike, that takes a lot of effort, dedication, and all that type of stuff. But I won a world title in jiu-jitsu in Las Vegas. Right now, that again. Look, it's based on age, weight, all those type of things. I'm not fighting everybody, but yeah. So I came second the year before, and when I came second the year before in 2020, it lit a fire under me that I was like, I'm going to go back next year, and then I beat everybody very badly, because I came second. So it lit a fire under me, and so yeah, a couple world championships is what I.
Heck yeah, man.
So when I become rich and famous, you will 100% be my bodyguard.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Brian. So you're going to be last one here. What is something you're really proud of? And of course, being on the show for the first time tonight is probably something you're proud of. But you can skip past that.
I am very
That's a given.
proud of that. No, the thing I'm most proud of is my daughter. She's
There you go.
14, almost 15. Great kid, a lot of activities. She likes going camping. She likes hiking. She likes backpacking. She's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Very cool. I got 4 kids, and I'm
World
52
champion
years old.
dad.
I have a 2-year-old, so I'm very proud that my stuff still works and I can still make kids. There you go. So guys, we'll leave it right there. You guys want to add anything? Chad, you want to talk about EGQ before we go? Anything else?
What do you mean? Why do you keep trying to get me to talk about UGQ? What are you trying
Because
to
we
get me to
haven't,
say?
dude, we've had 10 episodes. You've been on 2.
Just left again.
Because we all
That
miss
is
you,
not
Chad.
me doing that.
Right.
Listen, I have lots of things that I'm working on, and as always,
pick one.
but
Just pick one.
no, listen, I'm going to list them all in chronological order first, then numerical, and then maybe I'll reverse it. We'll see.
I don't think he's going to list any of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
no,
you.
I don't have anything. I'm just
Alphabetical would be helpful.
Okay, we'll just go around the horn real quick. Everybody can talk about where people can find you. Salmon Outdoors, I'll let you go first. Where can people find you at, besides Canada?
My name is Devin. You can find me on Instagram at Salmon Outdoors. I've been starting a reel series where I'm interviewing photographers, so go check that out. I just interviewed a Kentucky boy named Tyler Skench Outdoors. So yeah,
Oh,
go find me on Instagram.
he's in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, he is. He takes awesome pictures.
He
Chadley.
does.
Chad, where can everybody find you at besides your basement cleaning up all the poo?
Honestly, it's really hard to find me. But if you're looking for UGQ, you can go to ugqoutdoor.com, or you can call our 1-800 number, which will guarantee you get a hold of absolutely nobody. So preferably that one.
Does my
Just
discount code
1-800.
work on your site?
Honestly, I don't know because no one's used it. So somebody use it, please.
There's a code for 10% off on UGQ Outdoor. It is Ben is awesome. That's 10% off. And if you
Hey, and you're not the only one. You're not the only one in here that has a UGQ coupon code either.
Uh-oh. But is it as good as mine?
Mine's I suck at hiking.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty good too. So there's a code at Hilltop Packs. There's a code that Chad wanted, and his code is Chad is okay, and that's 10% off. Chad is okay. There you go.
Or you can call 1-8000.
Yeah, my
UGQ.
bad. There's an extra one in there. Leave me alone.
That's the customer service number.
All right, Jonathan, where can everybody find you at, buddy?
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Woodall Trails.
Woodall Trails. Luke, what do you want to tell everybody? Where can they find you?
Just Trail Goods Company across the board, everywhere. That's how you find me. And
Man,
my photo work is almost non-existent anymore, but there's 100,000 people that are just waiting for me to post another photo. That's Luke Pearsall photo. That one.
Yeah. I think we were talking a long time ago about how just the algorithms have changed with photos and just not getting the same attention we used to get. So that's a bummer. But anyway, I quit posting photos years ago because of that. But
it's more just promoting Trail Goods now on the
good deal.
Account, so
Jason, where can everybody find you at? On the cover of the magazine.
Huck Outdoors on YouTube, Instagram, and huckoutdoors.com, not .net, because I don't own that clothing line.
My former employer does, though.
Really? Tell them I'll sell them, huckoutdoors.com.
Yeah.
All right. Who is Chad calling? We got to know.
Listen, I called 1-800.
He just saved on his car insurance.
I called the number, Devin, and I won a free medical device, aka a life alert thing.
You're gonna need it here soon, Chad. You're getting up there in age, you know.
It asked if I was over 50. Obviously, I selected yes, and turns out I won. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Phenomenal.
And for anyone else who wants to win, please do not call this number.
It's literally what it is.
Are you being serious?
It was literally it said I want a free medical device. That's literally what it said. It was pretty awesome.
All right, Mr. I Suck at Hiking. Where can everybody find you at?
I suck at hiking on YouTube, on Instagram, Sticks and Stones BJJ on YouTube as well.
Or at Nationals this year. So,
or you can find me on the Colorado Trail after July 30th.
Man, well, good luck
or
out there.
at Trail Days next month.
Trail Days next month too.
Nice.
Chad, are you gonna be at Trail Days?
It's actually like
I
2 weeks.
am going to be with my wife and 2 of our kids.
Wait, what's the date of Trail Days?
I think it's the May 16th, 17th.
Yeah, something like that.
So the reason I'm asking is, so I'm a wedding photographer, and typically I'm out every single weekend.
Oh, you are? Because you never mentioned that before.
I know. I like to keep it a secret. So actually, I had that weekend a wedding cancel, so I actually have off. I may just go and visit.
Dude, come. I'll stop.
I'm ready to go.
The mask is here. You come.
All right, Chad, we're gonna talk. Maybe we'll figure something out. I just want to go as a visitor and kind of hang out. So I'm gonna try to do that.
You better sew yourself a loincloth for the campfire.
I don't know anything about that. So we'll talk off camera here. All right, Brian, where can everybody find you at, buddy?
Facebook or Instagram, just under Brian Winburn.
Good deal. Well, thanks for joining the show tonight, buddy. Appreciate that. All right, guys, any other
It's
questions?
good meeting you,
Anything else?
Brian.
You too, man.
I still laugh about that. So Brian was on the show a few weeks ago, and I welcomed to the show for the first time, and everyone's like, he was on last weekend. So I missed it. Anyway, we'll do it again next week. We're gonna do it for next month too. We're gonna keep this thing going. Chad, we're gonna do it again. What's the plan?
Oh yeah, I'll be here whenever I feel like it. Yeah. So
So we're going month to month. We're
This
just doing
is
as we
true.
have a good time. We're having fun. I'm having fun. Greg's having fun. Greg Morton, he's having fun in the chat. So as long as he wants to be here, I'm gonna keep on doing it. Good enough. Everybody, thumbs up. We
Sure.
good?
sounds great.
Good.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
fellas.
Well,
Nice meeting y'all.
thanks everybody for hanging in there
meeting
for the whole night. We will do this again next Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. We'll see you later.